just didn't score the ball quite well enough. I think we were, able to hang in there because I think our first shot defense was pretty good, but just, I think the offensive reboundings, it was a huge differential in terms of point disparity there. So, again, I think it's a great lesson for our team, in terms of just establishing a defensive identity, trying to do that every single game. And this was a game where we really needed that. And I thought those kind of plays really, because of our shooting, were really hard to overcome.
Billy asked you about SGA playing this game without Chris Paul for the first time this season. Just how do you think he went out there, or just was it probably just one of those nights in terms of his shot making, 5 of 20 from the field?
Yeah, he didn't have a great offensive night, and that's going to happen sometimes. I think this is these are all great learning experiences for Shea. He's obviously had an incredible year, and he's played well, but this is one of those moments I think he can really learn from because, I think when he was driving, he was enforcing a lot of help around him. He'll go back, he's a hard-working guy, he'll look at the film and look at areas that maybe he could have done better, but it just wasn't really a great offensive night for him. And that's going to happen sometimes. It happens to all these guys, it's not necessarily Shea. Gallo didn't have a great offensive night, Dennis didn't have a great offensive night. It wasn't like we had anybody that really stood out offensively tonight. And those things happen. The 82 games is going to be nights where you don't shoot the ball particularly well. And Shea was part of that as well.
Yeah, and like a few months ago, you'd actually talked about SGA and the development and about team confidence and self-confidence. I mean, I don't want to look too much into one game, but do you feel like this could be this could be good for the long term? Like throw it away, the 5 of 20 performance, but learn from it?
Yeah, I don't know about throw it away. I think that there's always chances to learn. I know those games maybe you don't play as well, but there's a lot for him. I think he can learn from the game as he can from every game. I think every player can learn from every game. I don't want to just actually say it's just Shea. I think it's everybody, but it's like I said, I think so many times about him is if he becomes a one-dimensional player and the one dimension is scoring, and you have a night like tonight where you're not scoring the ball, he is so gifted, in my opinion, and so smart and so cerebral that there's other ways he can impact the game. He can impact the game by rebounding. He can impact the game with his assists. He can, impact the game by penetrating, drawing help, and kicking out. He can impact the game. Like he had a great closeout in front of our bench, blocked the three-point shot where we had a little bit of momentum. Like he's capable of doing a lot of different things. So, every player wants to score. No player ever takes a shot hoping they miss. They want them all to go in, but they don't. But he's got to be able to also look at this game and say, okay, they didn't really have it going offensively. That doesn't mean to stop shooting and stop taking open shots. What are some other things I could have maybe done to impact the game a little bit more maybe than I did?
I've seen players and coaches say that after wins and losses that the game really didn't matter. Is that a similar feeling that you have right now?
The game doesn't matter?
The game, like considering everything that's happening.
In the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot bigger things in life, but this is everybody's job, and we feel very, very blessed and fortunate to be able to go and be part of a game that we were part of the game, all of us, since we've been little kids. It was a game that started off being fun. You did in the playgrounds or in someone's backyard or on the street corner or whatever. You played, and it was always like a recreational fun thing. And then, here it is, for a lot of us, 30, 40 years later, it's a job. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot bigger things in the game of basketball, no question. But I do think that when you are gifted and you are talented, like I think if you look at Kobe, he poured everything he had into the game, and all these guys only have a window of athletic talent and ability, as age starts to come. So, you want to be able to maximize these moments. You want to be able to enjoy these moments. But in the grand scheme of things, it relates to family and life and those things. Obviously, those things are much, much bigger than the game or any job for that matter. And I think that goes for anybody's, profession or whatever they're doing.
Really, obviously Chris is out for his personal reasons, but Chris has been so good in the fourth quarter this season. He's been such a stabilizer for you guys. How were you looking to be able to compensate for him while he was out tonight?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's hard for me to talk about somebody that didn't play the game of how he would have impacted the game. Listen, we've had Gallo out of games, we've had Steven out of games, we've had different guys out of games. Chris is a great player, and Chris, along with a lot of the guys, have really impacted the game and the team in a really, really positive way. But you have to look at the guys that were out there. And I think I said before the game, we had more than enough to go out there and compete and play and have a great opportunity to win the game. And, we didn't have a great shooting night. And the other part of it was, I think the things that I think the one thing they can really learn from this game, the things that we had control over, things that we could have controlled better, we didn't do well enough to put ourselves in a position to win the game. Like the biggest thing going into the game was transition defense and the rebounding. Because they get a lot of threes in transition and they get a lot of threes off of offensive rebounds. And we did a fairly decent job transition-wise, but the rebounding part was not good enough.
Bill, you play a lot of young or unexperienced guys. Does having Chris out there, not only playing with them, but kind of a coach on the floor, like how much does that help on a daily basis?
Yeah, listen, Chris is a great leader and he's a great player, but you know what? I thought Dennis was really trying to lead the team today. I thought Steven was really trying to do a good job in huddles. Mike Muscala was up. There was a lot of guys with the voice. And, again, I'm not going to, Chris was not here, so we're going to focus on the game and the guys that played in the game. It's hard for me to comment. Chris had nothing to do with this game. And, up to this point in time, every game that he has played in, he's been spectacular. He's played great. And I've said this before the game about any player. They didn't have Hardaway and Porzingis the first time they played us here. We were missing, Abdul, we were missing Chris, and we're missing Terrence. We went into Minnesota missing a lot. We've had different guys out. It just happens. This was a game where, like I said, I don't think, there was things that everybody in that locker room, and coaches included, we didn't do a good enough job controlling the things that we had control over, in my opinion.
Billy, I know, last couple of days, guys have taken it very tough with Kobe Bryant, but do you think that game should have been played at all, whether it was today or yesterday?
Yeah, I don't know that. That's probably a league decision. I'm not the right guy to talk to about that. I'm sure, the weighing of that would be, one is, do you honor, him in a way because he was maybe one of the greatest competitors ever played the game, that he would want the games to be played, or is it, do you not play them because the players that are obviously pretty, he's not far removed from retirement, it's emotional for those guys. So I'm not quite sure what the right answer is there, to say what should or should not been done. I think there's arguments to be made both ways. It's unfortunate what happened, and I think, our team, I'm sure the team in the league's trying to do the best they can to move past that. But, he certainly was obviously a special player.
Coach, you often talk about when it comes to shooting, when it comes to stats or analytics, you always go back to whether or not you generated good looks. Do you feel like your team generated those good looks tonight?
We had some shots in any game with a number of possessions that probably were not great, but you know what? We had 23 assists on 39% shooting, so we tried to move the ball. I thought we had some pretty good looks threes. I thought we tried to get into the paint and get into the lane. The shots that probably were not great for us, in my opinion, is we had some drives to the basket that there was help there that needed to get sprayed out. We needed to make the extra pass, and we went in there to finish, but maybe didn't have the vision to make the next pass. But I thought overall, I thought our guys really competed hard. I thought they played really, really aggressively. They gave us great effort. We didn't shoot it well, and probably some of the decisions, the shot selection was probably more around the basket than it was maybe on the perimeter.
Thank you. I don't know if you addressed this in pregame, but I'll ask, is Steven playing through something right now? He looked a little slow out there, and also, you sort of thrive despite having 1, 2, sometimes more than that players out. Tough to do that every night. I guess a general question, how do you think you've held up until tonight, given all that?
Well, yeah, Steven is dealing, with an ankle, so he's working through that right now. He's obviously said that he can play, so we put him out there, and I think he's working through that. This has been a really, really hard month, and we've got obviously 2 more games left on the road. Just the number of games, and I think it's gone all the way back, to be honest with you, to December 26th. We've had a day in between every game, and it's either been a game or a back-to-back. I think that these guys, with what's been thrown at them in terms of having guys out of games, having players in and out, not having a full complement of players, you know, for portions of the month. And these guys have done a really, really good job. I've been really, really pleased and proud of the way they've competed every single night. And we've gone on the road, and we've played in some tough situations, and we've found ways to get some wins. This wasn't one of our better games. You know, we've played better than we had tonight. I'm not taking anything away from Dallas, because I thought Dallas played a very good game and shot the ball well and did the things in terms of rebounding better than we did all the way around. But, you know, up to this point in time, with whatever it is, 4 days left, you know, before the turns to February, we have 2 more games on the road. I think up to this point in time, we've done a good job, but I think there's still out there more in front of us. You know, we've got obviously a bunch of games here before the All-Star break. We got a couple games here before closing the month. It's, you know, after this month, I think we're at 50 games. There's still 32, so there's a lot of basketball, a long way to go. And I think that when you have these situations, like every team does when you're dealing with injuries, I think you find more about yourself, and different guys get an opportunity to kind of, to grow and develop as well.